What is going on, everyone, and welcome to A Beginner's Guide to Bosses, Episode 2, and today we're doing something that is technically considered a boss, but that a lot of people do not see as bosses, and that is going to be Barrows. Now, Barrows is actually an incredibly good, decently low-leveled moneymaker. In this guide, we're going to cover what Barrows is and why it is such a good low-level moneymaker. We're going to go over the recommended levels for your stats that you're going to need for Barrows. We're going to go over the items needed for Barrows. We're going to go over how to get to Barrows and how to run through Barrows, and then how to reset yourself after Barrows. Barrows is a great moneymaker, especially for low levels, because the requirements you need aren't that much, and the chance to drop a Barrows item is, I think, 1 in 12. So those items drop really frequently, and they are decently expensive, especially some of the higher end ones like Guffin's Helm, Varrock's Skirt, that kind of stuff. It is very easy to go through. It is mostly magic, a little bit of range, a little bit of melee, and basically you just use prayer, and it's very, very easy to go through. Now, it is recommended that you complete the Mauritania Hard Diaries because you will get 50% more runes in your loot, but even without doing that, it is still definitely worth making these runs. For the recommended stats, you're going to want at least 50 magic. The 3 spells I recommend you use are either Ivan's Blast if you've done Underground Pass, Slayer Dart's pretty good if you have 55 Slayer, or using a Trident of the Seas, which is the highest of the 3 options and definitely the best out of those 3. You can also use stuff like Fire Blast if you have the mage level. Anything above 50 is going to be pretty good for you. It might take you a little longer to get through some of the runs, but they will be sufficient enough to make a run through Barrows. You're going to absolutely need 43 prayer at least. The higher prayer, the better, because you can use less resources, but 43 prayer is mandatory. And then it is also recommended to have at least 50 range because you want to be able to use the magic short bow. For the items you want to use for Barrows, we're going to go over a big misconception. You do not need to have magic armor to do Barrows. A lot of the Barrows brothers have negative magic defense on their armor, so using a magic like Mystic is not necessary in the slightest. So the kind of setup you want to go for is to maximize your prayer bonus to get the most out of your prayer, because that's how you're going to run through Barrows efficiently and not use up as many resources. So as you can see, we're wearing full proselyte here. Full initiate will work as well. If you do not have either one of those, then you can just use melee armor, torso, dragon legs, Niet helm, whatever you want. We've got the Artie Cloak. Use whatever cloak will give you a prayer bonus. I have Artie Cloak 2, and that's what I get my prayer bonus from. You're going to want rune arrows or high-level arrows just because you have to range one of the brothers. It gets it done as easily as possible. You're going to want your staff, whatever you're using to attack. I have a Book of Darkness for the magic bonus because it is nice to have a little bit of magic bonus in there, especially if it's magic strength bonus. That helps out a lot, which is why we also have the Necklace of the Occult there. We have Barrows gloves because they're the best in-slot gloves, except for a Tormented bracelet and the Zenite stuff that no one cares about because it's way too expensive. Dragon boots for just a defense bonus because there will be a little bit of time when you aren't using your prayer. It helps to have it there. And this here's ring. You can use a Ring of Dueling if you want. I just have it there for holistic sake. It just looks nice. You can use a Ring of Dueling because that's what you're going to use to teleport if you want to use that in your ring slot instead. Next, you're going to want a Dragon Dagger and a Whip or whatever you're going to use to melee. Spec Weapon, not Spec Weapon, and then a Defender just because it boosts your attack bonuses a lot. It's nice to use, nice to have to get quicker kills. You're going to want to have a Magic Shortbow and imbue it. I think it's like 10, 15k to imbue it. And it basically cuts down the amount of special needed for a special attack from 55% to 50%. So you can get 2 special attacks off in one go, in one fight, and you're only going to be fighting one person, so it's really worth it. The way the mechanic of Barrows works, it helps to get your fights done as quickly as possible so you don't lose that much prayer. So buy the imbued version on the GE and imbue your magic shortbow. Then some range armor just to make your kills a little bit faster because your range bonus isn't that good, and they might not have good magic defense, but they have good range defense, so that'll help out a little bit. Then you're going to want a spade because you're going to be digging into tunnels, so you're going to need that to go in there. You're going to want Barrows teleports because it's the easiest, by far, quickest way to get there. Getting rid of having to run through the Mort Myers Swamp is a huge bonus, so just buy the Barrows teleports. It's worth it. Ring of Dueling, it's the easiest way to get out to somewhere that's going to be able to restore your stats, which is where I am now in Clan Wars. A couple of prayer potions, because prayer is definitely going to be the most important thing here. And then I fill up with food because there are a couple of people that I will just eat against and hope that I don't need to pray against them. And then if I do, I'll sip some prayer potion and start praying against them. But that food usually is more than enough. I don't really go through that all, but sometimes I even need to eat some to make room for the loot. But now, whoa, Fenity, how are you going to forget a Holy Wrench with your prayer potion? Anytime you take prayer potions, a Holy Wrench, if you have it, is always ideal because it just gives you more prayer points per sip. So add that in there and let's keep going. But now we're going to go through how to get there. So easy enough. Click your Barrows teleport, you will appear right outside. It is that simple. So we are going to pop up how we are going to do the run. Now you're going to see the Barrows map, and we're going to start out at Darrock's. Darrock is always first because he can, if you run out of prayer at all, he can one-hit you. He is very, very strong because of his armor passive. Every one of the brothers gets their own armor passive. So Darrock will be first. Then I like to go to Varrock. He does hit through prayer, but it doesn't always hit through prayer. It's a bonus, if you will. They don't get their special off every time, so Varrock is nice because he does a lot of damage. Then we're going to hit up Arams while we still have some prayer left. Then we're going to go down to Carol. Then we're going to move over to Torag because by that time you should not have prayer, and I like to try and not pray on him, and then Guffin's is going to be the last one. So we are going to run over here. Over to Darrock. He's going to be to your left when you come in. You're going to also want to have your quick, if you can, set your quick prayers, just set them to attack or a melee prayer. It's just the easiest. You're going to dig. You're going to click to open this casket. You're going to put on your prayer, and then you're just going to attack them. I always run towards the stairs because the quicker you get out, the better. Every so often, there will be a face that'll pop up on your screen while you're doing Barrows. That takes you down, I think, 11 prayer points. So you want to try and get in and out of the tunnels before that face pops up because it is very draining on your prayer, and it's hard to outlast that. So you want to try and get in and out of these tunnels as quickly as possible. Next, we're going to go over to Varrock, and Varrock is the most reason why you have food because he can hit through your prayer. You're going to need a little bit of food to just be able to outlast him. So he isn't also that hard. You can bring ancients. I know some people do that. I just don't think it's that worth it with what the runes cost and having to be on the spell book. So right there, that face that pops up, you'll see my prayer points went down 10 or 11. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. You just want to try to make it through every tunnel to make it happen as little as possible because it does not happen when you are in the Barrows area above ground. So that is the biggest goal of why you are rushing through every tunnel. And then you can eat if you want. Always do your switches up top too, just because it's less stressful. So we're going to also probably remove our boots because they give not the best bonus in terms of range. And then dig down, get our special attack ready, switch over to Pray Mage. And we have been lucky where we haven't gotten our tunnel yet. So I will show you. You always have to go down to a tunnel once every trip. And that is where the maze portion comes in that you will have to see. So basically, I'll show you when it happens. But when you run up to a Barrows chest, it says that there's a tunnel here. And you basically just leave that alone unless it's your last one. In which case you go for it. So next we're going to go into Carol, and this is going to feel a little weird, but you're still going to mage him because he has Carol's armor, which is technically range armor, but it's range armor with melee defense as opposed to magic defense. So magic is still going to be your best bet here. That's how it works. It's a little weird to feel like you're supposed to mage against range armor instead of range against range armor, or melee against range armor rather, but that's how it's set up. So as you can see, he's even maging in dehides. It really does not matter what you are maging in. I only have the prayer set up just because it's simpler. It gives you more longevity in your runs. Next, we are going to go to Guffin. Hey, it's me, editing Kyle again. I just wanted to make a point here that I originally said I go to Torag's and then Guffin's, and then I went to Guffin's first. That is a switch up I do if I ever have prayer after ending on Carol. I go to Guffin's because Guffin's is more useful to pray against than Torag is. So that is the little reason why I mixed up my normal route. If you ever have prayer left after doing Carol, head to Guffin's because it's more worth it. So is this one on the right here. And we still haven't got our tunnel yet, so he might be our tunnel. Is he? Nope. It is definitely a Torag tunnel, which is interesting. It's always fun for completion's sake to have your last brother be your tunnel. And also Torag is the easiest because they usually do not stay in the chest in your tunnel. So definitely nice to have Torag as the tunnel brother. As you can see here, we had just enough prayer to last us. Now we're going to throw on the melee get up because we are going to be going through our tunnel. And the tunnel, as you can see when we get down there, this rewards potential here says, you have found a hidden tunnel. Do you want to enter? You says, yes, I'm fearless. This reward potential is what kind of reward you're going to get from the chest. You want to hit that at 100%. The brothers do count towards that, but also killing the monsters down here count towards it. So you want to go for that all the time. And the bigger monsters give you more percent than the smaller monsters, but the smaller monsters are easier. Like these are level 43, the thing's level 80, 77. So it doesn't hurt to just attack these. It takes a little while longer. And what you're going to do is, this is basically a big square. And you're going to just wait until you find a door that will allow you to go to the middle room, like this one right here. But you will be able to basically go around, and then at one point you will hit a dead end. If you hit that dead end, you're going to have to go back around and go the other way. You might get put in the middle of the maze. I got really lucky here because I couldn't go through this door, which means that I can only go through this one. And the fact that it's right here is kind of insane. But generally what you will have is both these doors will be open. If you pick this one, you'll be able to go around to here, to this door that won't open. You have to come back around and go this way. Also, at some points, you will have to go through one of these back areas. It's basically a hallway that leads you to another set of square rooms like this. So that might be another option you have to do. All of these doors will have a puzzle on them, and the puzzles are different. I am going to leave a link. Actually, I think I'll try and put it up in the video. Either put it up in the video or I'll leave a link down to the answers to all the puzzles. After a little while, see, look, he didn't stay in. After a little while, you just kind of memorize them, so they're not really that difficult. I'm going to try not to pray on Torag because I feel like he's rather weak compared to the other bosses. So, and also if you're going to pray down here, wait until the face pops up, then drink your prayer potion and pray. It's just, it will allow you to get the most out of your prayer because you won't immediately get robbed of the 11. Also, I should have brought a holy wrench because if you're drinking prayer potions, holy wrench makes sense. So he's going to be knocked down. We're going to be at 96%. We're going to open this up. We're going to attack. One more thing. We need to get to 100% reward potential, and then we will be good to go. So this is going to be the chest. You basically usually want to have like 4 slots open here. You're usually going to get some runes and maybe an item if you're lucky. So 4 or 5 are usually recommended. You can get up to 6 though. So we're going to open this up, search it, see what we get. Nothing. The death runes aren't that bad. You're going to rub and then you're going to go to Clan Wars because you can reset yourself very easily there. We got, let's see what our loot was. You do get bullet racks a lot. Bullet racks do not count as Barrows items. They are the armor or the ammo for Carol's crossbow, but they do not count as a Barrows item themselves, so it doesn't count towards your 1 in 12. And that's 45k for not a lot of money we spent, and I did the run wrong too. So it's really not that bad. You're going to re-gear up here, and if you're me, you're going to remember your holy wrench this time. You're going to throw these into the bank, get those out of your inventory, grab your holy wrench, because that is necessary. Re-gear if you need a little more food. Don't worry about topping off your health though, because when you come over to the portal over here for Clan Wars, you're going to want to go in this free-for-all portal. Just come in here, And coming in here, you can either just teleport from here or you can step out, but they will restore your health and your prayer and your run. So basically it's a reset for you. That's the easiest way to do that. And that's all of the Barrows guide. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you did. Comment down below letting me know what other boss guides you want to see or any way I can improve this series on these videos. All of my social links will be in the description below in case you want to follow any of those. Feel free to subscribe if you're new here. There will be more of this and other RuneScape content coming out. And until next time, I will see everyone later.